The Trust came into being primarily as a result of the closure of the notorious Greenham Common Air Base. The airbase actually closed in around 1993. Shortly after that, Sir Peter Michael had the big idea of what if the whole of the former airbase was put to a use that would be to the benefit of the whole community. It took some 3 to 4 years to put a framework around that, but eventually that framework did come together. The Trust was formed in 1997. It purchased the airbase, paying full commercial value for it. Since then, the Trust's been active in trying to make the best use of the resource at New Greenham Park. It's refurbished old military buildings, it's demolished the buildings that were not capable of refurbishment, it's split buildings into different parts to make them more usable for small businesses, and it's been generally trying to make this the premier business park location in West Berkshire. And here we are after some 13 years of doing that with a thriving business park, providing a steady income stream which we apply to the benefit of a whole range of different charitable and voluntary sector projects throughout West Berkshire and the northern parts of North Hampshire. The location of New Greenham Park is particularly advantageous, maybe in some respects that's why it was a successful military airbase. It's sited at the crossroads of southern England. It's got very easy access to the M4 motorway, providing the east-west link between London and the West Country, Bristol. It's sited on the A34 practically, which gives the link between the port of Southampton, the Midlands and on to the north. And it's also got very easy access to the M3 if you want to access the area to the south of London. So really good quality transport links, as well as being on a mainline railway into London. The shuttle bus service that we run is also extremely useful for people. It connects the centre of Newbury to the business park here on a very regular basis, enabling people to get to work without adding to carbon emissions by coming in their own vehicles. One of the other advantages of the site being a 150-acre mixed-use site is that all sorts of different business activities go on here, and very many of the businesses are actually on site here, and you can access a whole range of services including catering, air conditioning servicing, printing, good quality IT solutions and support, web hosting and design, and of course marketing, an array of manufacturing, engineering and construction, as well as the more esoteric activities such as secure data hosting. In addition to that, we've got a thriving arts centre at the business park here, managed by our local theatre, the Corn Exchange, and incorporating a tandoori restaurant. We've also got one of the former military buildings that was used as a major recreation facility used by the military, which is now called Liberty Ballroom and provides great facilities for five-a-side football and also for ballroom dancing. In addition to all those physical things that exist on the business park, we've got immediate proximity to a large area of tranquil open countryside, something in the region of 1,000 acres of common right on the doorstep of the business park, which is a marvellous opportunity for people to take a break at lunchtime and get a little bit of fresh air and see some of the interesting wildlife out there. In terms of the rents, we try to charge competitive rents, and we pride ourselves on offering particularly flexible terms, so that within the bounds of reason we're generally able to match the requirements of any business, whether they want short-term premises, long-term premises, a lot of security, not a lot of security. We generally find that through a flexible approach we actually end up with a much more effective way of running the business park, and it encourages people to stay because they know that we're able to adapt to their changing needs. So how is the Trust faring in this very difficult economic climate that we're all facing at the moment? Well, the reality is that the Trust hasn't really seen any great effect on its income stream. It's got a very diverse range of occupiers here, most of whom are on a very secure financial basis. So overall, the Trust's income stream hasn't varied enormously. We've managed to ride out the worst of the recession by having a diverse portfolio of different occupiers, so that we don't have all the eggs in one basket of being purely a distribution park or purely an office or high-tech park. We're a real mix. So that's given us an enormous amount of resilience to cope with the current difficult economic climate. And that self-sustaining sort of process is one of the reasons that we think we've been successful in being awarded 2 Queen's Awards for enterprise. The first new building that the Trust put up on this site was an enterprise centre. Now obviously there are an awful lot of former military buildings here, and they've all been reutilised to best advantage, splitting them up into small units, doing refurbishments. But the first new building we built was a purpose-designed enterprise centre intended to nurture small start-up operations, to give them a supportive environment where they could start their business operations, securing the knowledge that if things went well, they'd be encouraged to expand, and if things went less well, they'd be able to walk away from the situation without being in danger of losing their house and having to have had to put up too much security to make them able to thrive in an effective way. That operation's been very successful. We've had a whole range of different businesses go through the Enterprise Centre. We've got one or two who started in the Enterprise Centre 10 years ago and are still there, occupying a similar amount of space. We've got other businesses that started in the Enterprise Centre, literally in one small unit, then expanded to 2 units, then 4 units. I think one got to as many as 8 units before outgrowing that and having some purpose-built premises created here on New Greenham Park for them to move into. Even they didn't prove large enough, and they're currently occupying some 20,000 square feet of purpose-built, high-quality engineering premises where they run a very successful operation at the cutting edge of modern engineering. So that's where the money comes from. And I can't overstate how important it is to make sure we get that income generation right. But it's only half the story. Just as important as making the money is spending it. Making sure that we apply the same energy, creativity and efficiency to applying the charitable funds as we do to generating them. Making sure that we get the very best results for our local community. And elsewhere on this website, with the other video clips that are included, you'll hear from some people in a little bit more detail about how we spend that money, and some very specific examples of where the funds generated have produced real benefits for local people.